Hi, I'm Leanne. I'm a lightworker and a mother to 3 special girls. I strive to continue learning, growing, and to collect new skills. I'm a psychic medium, Reiki master teacher, and Akashic record reader and energy healer. I am so excited to share what I've learned and what I'm going to learn and the ups and downs of life. Thank you for joining me on my journey. Welcome to Life of a Lightworker podcast. Hello and welcome. Thank you so much for joining me. This week's card is from the Moonology Oracle Deck by Yasmin Boland. And my intention is, what do you need to hear right now? What do you need to know about at this moment? Oh. Hold your vision. Fixed moon. Okay, I will read from the deck. There are 2 main possibilities with this card. The first is that you need to stand firm in whatever situation you're in. The second is very different interpretation, is that something is stuck. That could be referring to a situation you're asking about. In that case, have a think about what you can do to grease the wheels so the events move forward. Are you being stubborn? If so, that's great because you really want things to change. There's a solution. Stop digging your heels in. Be the one to break the deadlock. With 2 interpretations for this card, it's up for you to decide what's going on and which meaning applies to you. This offers up a chance for some self-reflection. So the attune to the moon prompt is yes. Just say the word a lot and see how it feels. The additional meaning for this card is staying power, faith, or patience is needed. Another one is someone needs to break down. Another one is avoid stagnation. And another one is a personal or professional relationship will be enduring. The teaching for this card: in astrology, there are 3 quadrants: cardinal, fixed, mutable. The fixed signs are Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius. The fixed signs can be stubborn, so anything that's just starting as you draw this card may well last longer. Remember, we each have all these star signs in our chart. It's just the way the astrological wheel works. So there's no judgment when we say that while it's admirable for so much staying power the fixed signs have, they can also be obstinate. I feel for this card, it's about learning when to hold your ground and stay firm, and when to be flexible and move with the flow of the universe. And I feel like the main part is when you're being tested, when you are being challenged of, is this really what you want? And that's when you stay firm. You're like, I want this. This is what I want. This is what I expect. So if we're setting boundaries, this is my boundary. This is where it is. And I expect you to stay on the other side of this boundary. And if you don't, I will tell you that this is not in the right spot. You have crossed my boundary. And then also, if you put that energy into something that it's when you have that mindset with fear, with anxiety, when you're holding on to something out of fear, that is when we release it. That's when it's not for our highest good. Holding on to something because of fear. When we're holding on to something, but it's more of like an enforcement of what we expect of the world, what they expect of other people's energies. We are holding our own. We know our value. We know what we want. We know what we deserve. We know our self-worth. And you're maintaining those boundaries for your self-worth. That is what we're encouraging. And that's still in the flow of the universe. That is an alignment. When it's out of love, when it's out of respect, when it's out of fear, that's when it falls out of flow with the universe. That's when it's not aligned with our highest good. That's when we need to examine why we're fearful, why we have a hard time at letting go, and why have we a hard time letting the universe do its job. Let your higher self do its job. When you are digging your heels in and resisting out of fear, you are making everything slower. You're making the higher self have you're giving it a harder time. So it's gonna make it harder for you. Because change is inevitable. Change is how the universe works. If the universe didn't change, the universe would cease to exist. So we are part of the universe, therefore we must allow change. We must flow with change, because if we don't, it's going to pile up and pile up and pile up until we cannot hold that amount anymore, and it just avalanches onto us. And I don't think anybody enjoys that avalanche feeling. I don't think anybody wants that avalanche feeling. So it's taking a proactive approach and thinking through and finding the reasons why you're holding back, why you have this fear, and self-reflecting so that you can find your safety and your worth without whatever you're holding on to. I feel like that is something a lot of us are dealing with right now. Being sideswiped and thrown over. It's like you're in an ocean, and it's just like it is just the waves are just going and going and going and just pounding the ship. And instead of fighting the waves, acknowledging them and allowing the waves to happen and not put up a shield against them, is because when you can flow with the waves back and forth, it's not going to be as traumatic as if you are standing still, stagnant in that ocean and feeling the full force of those waves. Yeah, the waves can still throw you around. It's not going to be steady going, but when you're moving with them, you feel a lot more ease. You're not wasting your energy, and you're not working hard to fight against the wave. Because we all know you cannot fight against it. It will come. So, how you approach it is how you can conserve your energy and come out of the storm with the fewest amount of battle scars. That is the goal. And going in within your heart and feeling that inner guidance, those inner nudges, those twinges, those little things that keep popping up in your life, that it feels like a little bird. It's like you keep noticing the same thing over and over again, and you just keep feeling these little interest peaks about certain things. Follow those. That is your intuition trying to talk to you, and the more you do it, the more you follow, the more it will come, the louder that voice will get. And that's what your soul wants. Your soul wants to speak to you. The soul wants to guide you. And we have to be in a place of allowing in order for it to happen. We don't see the full picture. We're not privy to seeing everything. So we have to follow the little breadcrumbs, follow down the trail, and see what happens on the other side. And trust that our higher self is pulling us to a place that is essential for our growth, for our development, for who we are meant to be in this life. So trusting that is easier said than done, but baby steps, little things. First things that come are acknowledgement, acknowledging what you're noticing and what you're seeing and what you're feeling. You can either say it out loud, you can write it down, but that's the first step. And I encourage everyone to try. And it's okay if it's not right or correct or if you're making it up. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Just write it down. And it can't hurt. Just see what happens. I would also like to share some a cool experience I had. So over the last month, it's been very difficult to ground. And it was hit and miss. I could feel the earth when I was grounding, and she had so much energy. She was so high vibrational. It was really, really exciting and beautiful. And then some days she'd be so low, and like it felt so hard to reach her, and I didn't get the same feeling, the same amount of energy from her. And that was going on for about 2 weeks of like the up and down, up and down. And then every day it was that dull, muted, foggy, hazy feeling around the earth whenever I tried to tune into her. I was like, I don't know what's going on. So then I eventually did ask, because sometimes, hey, even those of us who do this all the time, we kind of forget sometimes. You get caught in your everyday life and you don't take the time necessarily to really ask these questions for yourself because they're not shouting at you. But this started to shout at me. So then I asked, what's going on? Why can't I feel her? And what I received is that the earth has changed. She has changed her frequency. She is no longer on the radio at 7. She's now at the radio at 8. So when I was tuning into where she used to be, she wasn't there anymore. It was getting more of like a diluted feedback, more of a shadow of who she was when she was there, and I wasn't getting the full earth. I wasn't getting her where she is. So I received a visualization on how to contact her, and I changed where she is in my dial so I can tune into her, and I feel her, and she every day, every time I tune into her, she is her highest self. So when she was really high before, that's her every day now. And it feels so beautiful and it grounds so fast. I don't have to ground multiple times, and grounding, like my normal grounding wasn't working, like just walking on the earth, touching trees, eating lots of potatoes, salt baths. It wasn't really working the way it used to. But a lot of it had to do with me not recognizing that she has changed. She's in a different place, and I need to tune into her. So the visualization I received was that the earth is like a flower. She's like a rosebud. And this bud I see it like the petals are kind of like a sea anemone, having those little tentacle things, and they're floating and they're moving and they are dancing. They are just gently pulsating. And these tendrils are made out of like this light that's bright white, but it has all these rainbow sparkles moved all the way through it. And this flower is going to bloom, and then this energy is going to be all over the earth, and it's going to be extremely easy to ground because it's going to be so connected to the earth, and we're so connected to the earth. We're not going to have to do these in big visualizations or attempt to ground. It's going to happen more intuitively, naturally. But for right now, we still have to attempt and try to ground our energy. And visualizing your energy connecting with these tendrils that are moving, and let them caress you and move around your energy and envelop you, and it feels like a warm, gentle hug, pulsating and moving the energy through you, taking away what you do not desire anymore, taking away that energy that's stuck within you, allowing your channel to open, allowing the source light to flow through you, and then from you into the earth, and then radiate and cycle back. And feels like this warm, sparkly, loving hug that just sends shivers through my spine. And so try to visualize that picture as you are grounding, and it will help you tune into the frequency where she is now. Acknowledge that she's changing, she's evolving, and she's going to continue to change and evolve, and be aware of that. So if you notice it's harder to ground, maybe imagine that flower opening and then try grounding again, and play around with those different visuals and see if that affects your grounding. And because right now grounding is very difficult with all the energies coming in, with the Schumann changing and everything's changing. So being aware of that and being open to change. So the things that we were using a year ago might not work again now, or no, they won't have the potency that they did. We need to adapt and change, and that's beautiful. That's what we're meant to do. That's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to adapt, and we're supposed to change and grow. That's the whole purpose of the whole universe. And it's beautiful that we're a part of it. And it's really exciting to see so many new people waking up and embracing their gifts. It's so exciting. It makes me so happy. So, let me see if there's any last messages for you for this episode. Be gentle and kind to yourself. When there's all these energy changes, it takes a while for your physical body to catch up to your energetic body, and it can be very tiring, very draining, and give yourself lots of grace. Allow your time to rest and integrate, because it's not easy. Acknowledge that it's not easy, and be patient with yourself and other people, especially those who are not even trying to wake up. They feel off kilter and they don't necessarily know why, and it's a really hard time for everybody. So giving extra grace to them, because they don't know what's going on, and if they're not ready or wanting to know, that's just their path. That's the way that it is. But we can still give them grace. Okay, so if you would like to contact me, my Instagram is Spruce Energy Healing, Facebook, Spruce Energy Healing, on TikTok, Broken Record, Spruce Energy Healing. Same as YouTube. My website is spruceenergyhealing.com, and if you want to message me or book with me, I would absolutely love to get to know you. So I have 3 sessions. I have a soul reading and healing session where I tap into your Akashic records, and I do the healings that your higher self is wanting to do that day, as well as acknowledge any sort of challenges you might be having, looking into past lives and seeing if there's anything that needs completion or acknowledgement. And really, I'm a conduit, and I'm an instrument for your higher self to do what it is yearning to do with you, and helping you acknowledge all the power you have within yourself. And my business session, it works with understanding and growing your business, as far as the energetics behind it and what feels aligned with you and your business, and helping you figure out how to do that yourself as well. So usually I offer a few tips on what will feel right for you in this business as you move forward, what some things to look out for to help you guide yourself through your business journey, for what is the right steps or the wrong steps. And I help guide you, but then I want you to be empowered to guide yourself as well. And my intuition development session, we dive into what your soul is wanting you to acknowledge within yourself so that you can grow. What specific strategies and practices will help you in your development and your connection with your own higher self and your guides, and what your soul is calling for you to do, and what healings your soul is calling for you to do. So thank you so much for listening, and I will talk to you next time.